Welcome everybody to the Sleeper Wire Show. Week 1 is finally here, and we are super pumped for the football season to begin. I am your regular Thursday host, Professor Chris, and with me today, I have my trusty homeboy, Prophet Hoos. How's it going, man?
What up, Chris? It's week 1!
Week 1.
It's week
that
1.
Is right. Week freaking 1.
Wow,
we also
here,
have
man
behind the curtain, Rob. How you doing?
What's up, man? Excited to be here. Excited to watch the Bears play. I got David Montgomery in almost every money league, so please hand him the ball.
Yeah, I think I have Montgomery in 5 leagues. So, looking forward to this. He's not getting much work now, but hopefully that'll change. So, you guys listening right now, if you listened to last year, you know that we record this show that comes out on Friday on Thursday nights, usually during the Thursday night game. So there might be sometimes when something exciting happens, and we'll talk about that for a second. But we're recording it during the game. We're going to go ahead and jump into a quick question before we get to the news. And Hoos, I'm going to kick this to you first. Which matchup are you most excited for in week 1?
Most excited for, it's definitely got to be Tampa Bay versus the Niners. There's so much anticipation. You know, he got Bruce Arians. You know, so much hype over Jameis Winston and all of his weapons. Is Godwin going to catch 100 passes? Obviously, it's not going to be week 1, but we'll start to see if it happens. We'll start to see if Rashad Perriman is the third guy. There's a lot of targets that were vacated from last year just on that team alone. It's going to be exciting to watch. That's going to be a high-scoring game. Tampa Bay gives up a lot of points. Not really high on Jimmy Garoppolo, so I want to see him. If he's going to perform, he's got to do it against this team. He should be a top 12 quarterback this week. I don't necessarily have it ranked that way. I have him 15 just because I'd like for him to prove it to me first. But yeah, he should put up top 12 numbers, top 10 numbers this week against that defense. It's going to be a fun game to watch. At least, on paper, it looks that way. So does George Kittle, is he the best tight end? It's a lot of questions. And, we're going to get some answers finally. It's week 1. It's exciting time.
Rob, you'll learn that the quick question is never quick when Hoos is on the show.
It's week 1. Come on.
What about you, Rob? Matchup for you?
Well, I'm really torn on this, but I'm going to have to stick with my first original answer, which is Giants and Cowboys, man. This is the first time that we're going to get to see, this year at least, one of the best running back battles in the game. Yep. Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley, and I think those two boys are going to be out there tearing it up. We're going to see some big numbers from both. That Giants passing game is anemic at best with Eli at the helm, and Dak Prescott with Amari Cooper coming back from the plantar fasciitis. I think that might be a little bit of time that needs to be taken. So I'm excited to watch those two running backs feast.
See, I like Hoos's choice, 49ers and Buccaneers, because I'm a guy who likes offense. I hate defensive games. Something that ends 10-7. That's boring as shit. I
Nobody wants to watch that.
I like there to be a lot of points. I'm okay with my defense getting negative points if 90 points are scored in the game.
It's fun, and it's hilarious to watch a defense go negative. Like whoever has that defense and they're going negative, it's the most fun thing to watch. If you're in a group, group me chat or whatever, Hangouts, if you're on WhatsApp. Yep. Just to see that team go, wow, they went -2, whatever. It's hilarious. It's fun. Football's back, man.
Yep. That said, I'm going to take Falcons at Vikings.
It's a good one.
I think that one's got potential to be a high-flying game as well. The Vikings, they had a really, really good offense for the first 4 or 5 weeks last season. And then I don't know what happened. Nobody up here in Minnesota can figure out what happened. They were just crap the rest of the season. But both of these teams are very capable of putting up a lot of points. I think Falcons-Vikings is going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, you just got to see if Julio plays.
Well, if Julio doesn't play, then I'll change my answer. You guys can come back and ignore that part of the show. Yeah, there is that news. Actually, we'll kick it off with that he might not play due to the holdout on Sunday, or due to his holdout, he might not play on Sunday. I'm leaning towards Julio's going to play. What about you, Rob?
Well, I also saw paired with that contract talk, I kind of saw a couple of articles that spun it two different ways. One was it was a contract issue, and the other was this was the Falcons being extremely overcautious, holding him out of practice with a calf injury, I believe. That they just didn't want him to aggravate, so they held him out. He swears up and down he's fine. So I hope he plays. Another guy that definitely a first-round pick for me in a few places. So I'm hoping and praying.
I was able to get Julio and Adams at the turn in a 12-team PPR.
That's insane.
I was super pumped about that.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know it was the work league with the other people at the brewery. I was very happy with that. Came back in the third and fourth. It's a super flex. I was able to get Carson and then Matt Ryan. So I've got the Julio Ryan stack. I almost took Ryan and Rodgers to have both stacks, but I couldn't pull the trigger on two quarterbacks that early and let all the running backs get.
That would have been a sick tandem, though, man.
It would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to the big news, the one that everybody is freaking out about, and I think it broke Sleeper a little bit today.
It did.
And Antonio Brown and Raiders general manager Mike Mayock apparently or reportedly, quote, got into it Wednesday. And the Raiders, it was rumored they are planning to suspend Antonio Brown. At a press conference, Mayock said that this was today. Antonio Brown is not in the building today. He's not going to be practicing. I don't have any more information. And then he came out later and said that AB will not be playing Monday. Now, as of Thursday at 8:55 p.m. Eastern, we have not heard that Antonio Brown is going to be suspended. If the alert comes in while we're recording the show, of course we're going to talk about it. We'll stop the entire show to talk about Antonio Brown being suspended. But as of right now, not going to be playing on Monday. So if you drafted him, that is a bummer. We're not really going to get into speculation about what this means for other fantasy players right now, because we are, that's the last game of the week. That's the last matchup we're going to discuss. So the way Thursdays go, we talk a little bit of news, do a quick question, and then we talk about all the matchups, and we're going to get into that one a little bit later. So, Antonio Brown, man, did you see this chemistry video? And it's this guy holding a match, and there's a pot with a lid, and it's the quote is, or the header is just, adding Antonio Brown to the Raiders locker room, and then this guy's real careful with the match, and he lifts up the lid real quick and puts the lid back down, and then the whole thing explodes.
Yeah, I mean that's about right. Pretty
Dude
accurate.
is just a clown, man.
And you know what?
I
feel
that he
bad
found a
saying
helmet
stuff
to
like
wear,
that about him, not because he hasn't shown. And I just don't know if. And I don't want to say if he's a clown or if my Mayock is just too sensitive. I mean, I think they definitely don't mesh well. I mean, John Gruden is letting him be him. He doesn't care about what he's doing. This is John Gruden's team. This is not Mike Mayock's team. This is John Gruden's team. He's a face. He doesn't have any problems with AB. I mean, he's a talent. He's a head case, much like Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham's still talking about the Giants. Why are you still talking about the Giants? Just go out there and suit up and play football. So,
see, about a month ago, I had I was still trying to defend Antonio Brown and his antics. He's not that bad. We can't call him a clown. But a month later, I feel like we can. What are you thinking, Rob?
Yeah, definitely clown. He has reached clown status. This man, when he puts on shoes to protect his ridiculously frostbitten feet, they are 18 inches long at least, rubber nose, and a horn.
Wow.
So
his helmet's got to have little speakers in it. That's it.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh. Who knew? I mean, this is one of the most talented guys, right? In the NFL. If we thought we'd be talking about this, this is what I love about the NFL. It's so unpredictable. You can get the top player can lose his job, or he's not the top player anymore if he changes the team. it's so unpredictable. It's like you can't just arbitrarily say this is going to happen. You have to dig deep. It's not like the NBA where what it is what it is, and you see what you get, and that's everything. It's a troubling situation with Antonio Brown.
I want to know where his head's at. What thought process could you go through that makes any of this make any sense at any point in time? Like 2 helmet disputes, like this all just seems ridiculous to me.
So, well, the craziest thing is and I don't know, we didn't talk about this, but the guy said he's going to punch the GM in the face. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was the actual conversation. He said he was going to punch Mike Mayock in the face, and then he punted the football and said, "Find me for that." And the crazy thing about this, I don't know if it's just reminiscent of for you guys at all, but Brandon Marshall, when Josh McDaniels, he did the same thing to Brandon Marshall. It was the same press conference. He came in, he said, Brandon Marshall's not going to practice. He's not going to play. That's it.
All right, let's move on. We have spent enough time on this.
It's a big
we
topic.
got 16 matchups to get through. It is a great topic, but we have a lot to get through tonight. We got to move it along a little bit. So Jordan Reed still in the concussion protocol. There are people who punted tight end hard and drafted Jordan Reed as their starting tight end. If that was, suppose that was one of your moves, you decided to go with Jordan Reed. Would you drop him and play Vernon Davis this week, or are you holding on to Jordan Reed? I'll give it to you first.
Yeah, I'm definitely stashing Vernon Davis. I wouldn't expect Jordan Reed to play. I mean, this is his, 7th concussion? The guy needs to retire. I mean, I'm concerned about him. There's other tight ends for us to start. I know you want to make money. I'm pretty sure you went to school. Whatever you studied, man, just go out there and try to make some money off of that. Be a businessman. I don't know. Do something else. We're tired of seeing you in concussion protocols. Like you live there. There's a town called concussion protocol. You're there and you're not moving. That's where you live. And that's fine. You just need to have your family there, pick up and leave. But it's a tough thing. He needs to retire at this point. It's tough. Yep, it's tough to see him continue to get injured.
Rob, do you think Vernon Davis is a good play at tight end against the Redskins? Or against the Eagles,
Case Keenum.
Not against the Redskins.
Yeah, right, for the Redskins.
Not against this
team.
You never
know. So I would say Case Keenum kind of scares me with that one. I don't know how well he's going to do with that Washington Redskins offensive line without Trent Richardson in there. That scares me. They don't have a tackle to protect the blind side. So Case Keenum, when he's under pressure and scrambling for his life, is pretty awful. I don't think now if I punted into the position,
you could have just left out that whole middle part and just said Case Keenum is awful.
Yeah, you're right. I could have just kept it simple there, but Hoos inspired me to be long-winded, and Case Keenum sucks. Is the point of that?
Last couple pieces of news here. Robbie Anderson is ready to roll for Sunday. That's good news.
Awesome.
I think I was touting him hard this offseason. Hoos, I believe you were as well. He is my most owned player, so I'm super pumped about this. And there was a hype report that Kenyon Drake will get a lot of touches, so that's good news for those of you who were able to get him in the 7th or 8th round in the past week or two after all the Kalen Balash hype.
It's crazy.
So, I mean, the Dolphins are still most likely going to be bad, but hey, Drake's a starter. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the matchups. So as of right now, I'm going to kick it off with Thursday Night Football. We are 1 quarter in at this point. I got to say, Trubisky and Rodgers look awful. Devontae Adams looks pretty good. David Montgomery looks great. Tariq Cohen fumbled. It's 3-0.
So is the king of the North Devontae Adams?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Absolutely. He is king in the North.
Gotcha.
It used to be James Stark.
Yeah.
Get it? Get it?
Good times. Good times. James Stark. Yeah, Stark. Yeah, that's a good one.
This game sucks.
Who remembers James
0
Stark?
to 3. James Starks? He was very startable for fantasy for a few years. 4 or 5 years ago? I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who remembers him? Kudos to you guys who remember him.
I see what you're saying. Let's go ahead and move into what hopefully is going to be a more exciting matchup. Chiefs at Jaguars. We finally get to see this Chiefs offense again. We know they're going to be at full strength with Tyreek playing, not suspended at all. They, still Mahomes, Tyreek, Travis Kelce, Damian Williams, I guess.
Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy.
Damian Williams.
Yeah, not a Damian Williams believer, even less now. Hoos, Rob, Rob, I'll kick it to you first. Did you have any shares of Darwin Thompson?
No. As much as I like the talent, I did not take him in any redraft leagues this year. I just don't like reaching for somebody who's starting to go a little too early for me. So it just made it a little unobtainable. And I didn't take LaShawn McCoy either. So,
Oof.
Hoos, you had a lot of shares of Darwin, right?
A lot. I won't say I have a lot. I have a lot of shares of Damian Williams. I was able to attain a good amount of shares from LaShawn McCoy. It's a tough situation. I think they both will get work. I just rather have Damian Williams in that passing attack. I think they'll both get some passes, but I don't know. The way Damian Williams looked at, again, it was a preseason. It was starters, though, but when he took off that 75 run that Mahomes threw him, nobody's doing that but Damian Williams. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys can't see this, but Chris is doing a little jerk-off job right here. Yeah, and I am. I'll give two hands for Damian Williams, man. That's my guy. So, yeah, I'm starting that guy. Definitely starting Tyreek Hill. Didi's going to be a beast, I think, this game. I think you could start Jeff Swain. Jeff Swain's going to be a sneaky guy. I think you could start him, though. The other guys, I don't know if I want to start Marquise Lee. I don't know if I want to start DJ Shark. I don't know if I want to start Keelan Cole, my boy. I don't know if I can start him, though.
Whatever.
Yeah, other than that, it's a tough game to figure out the starters. You're only starting, I think, guys from one team, which is Kansas. So you're two starters.
Well, I think you're starting Fournette too.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, you're definitely starting Leonard Fournette.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But I mean, the Jaguars are gonna have to throw. I mean, the Chiefs are probably the best offense in the NFL. I know the Jaguars are supposed to have this awesome defense led by, maybe the best trash talker in the NFL, and Jalen Ramsey. But I mean, they weren't great last year. Rob, give me one player from this game you're most excited to watch.
You know what? Nick Foles to D.D. Westbrook. I'm intrigued by the match there between the two. I think Nick Foles is a good passer for D.D. Westbrook, so I'd like to see how that develops week one. Maybe they can get off to a strong start and justify people taking him in the 7th round.
I like how it's not like, I want to see Tyreek get 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nope. It's Nick Foles is the answer Rob comes up with.
BDN, man.
I mean, Nick Foles is mine, too. Like, I want to see Foles. I want to see Foles start, and not be the guy this is his job, and I definitely want to see Jeff Swain.
I want to see Dede. I want to see Dede, and by default, we'll see Foles.
Yeah.
So. All right.
That's kind of where I sit as well.
Who wins that one, Chiefs or Jags?
I think the Jags are going to take this one by far. No, I'll go Chiefs.
I'm going to say the Chiefs by blowout.
Yeah, I think probably the easiest one I'll ask you.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So I'm just going in order that NFL listed. It's kind of like the time slots. Falcons at Vikings, the one I am most excited to watch, aside from the Colts game. Anyway, two should be great offenses, great fantasy quarterbacks, great fantasy wide receivers, great fantasy running backs, assuming Freeman stays healthy. Decent, I would say low-end, tight end one, tight ends in this game. There should be a lot of points scored. I'm probably most excited to see how much they use Dalvin Cook, because I don't know how it's going to go. I mean, he hasn't played a full healthy season yet. They want to give him a ton of work. Who are you most excited about?
Yeah, definitely got to be Cook. He should be the RB1 this week. Like, I have it pretty much. I wanted to rank it that way, but was a little bit of a say cat. I was a little bit of a cat about it. But I think he should, if he's expected to get the targets, they don't have anyone else. I mean, Mike Boone, it did lead the preseason in rushing yards, but if he led the preseason rushing yards, what do you think Dalvin's going to do? He's just going to beast. He's healthy now, finally. He should catch passes. Yeah, definitely want to see Dalvin. But we've been waiting to see him healthy for some time. Now he's healthy, so yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch.
Definitely. Darrell Bevel and Dalvin Cook is a good mix out there.
For sure.
All right. Who do you have more shares of, Thielen or Diggs?
I think Thielen, but I like Diggs more, but I think I have more shares of Thielen. Yeah.
All right, we got an Aaron Rodgers touchdown. Who is number 80 on the Packers?
That's Jimmy
Graham, boy.
Oh, I'm streaming this on Fire Stick, and I can't see any of the names. It's real fuzzy.
He's like, who's Jimmy Graham? That's Jimmy Graham, boy. Yeah, man, I have him in the Scott Fish League, so yeah. I actually think I have Burton, though, starting as well, which was a fail on my part. I thought I pulled him from my lineups, but I don't think I did.
Nah. Rodgers kicking off the second quarter much better than he played the whole first quarter. Oh, let's see. Rob, did you give me your one player you're most excited about for this game?
Yeah, pretty much Dalvin Cook. And
okay.
I think he had one game where he had 85 yards, and that was one carry. One carry in the preseason. That was an awesome run. I look forward to more of it.
Rob, who wins this one, Falcons or Vikings?
Ooh, well, I'm going to go, it's going to be Vikings win their home opener, close game, probably 28-24.
I'm taking Vikings at home, too. What about you, Hoos?
I'm going to go Atlanta. I think they win. It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think.
Yeah, I think each team can get at least 30. Moving on, Titans at Browns. Titans may be one of the worst offenses in the NFL. I am excited. I think everybody is excited to watch the Cleveland Browns this year and to see how well they are going to do in regards to fantasy. There are some very high expectations. I did not get a chance to get my Week 1 rankings done before Thursday, but I have a feeling I'm going to have Nick Chubb in the top 3. What about you, Hoos?
Top 3? No, I don't have him top 3. I do have him at 7 for running backs, though. I do love Chubb a lot. I think he's going to have an amazing season. There's really no one in front of him other than Dontrell Hilliard, which he's Dontrell Hilliard. Not to slight him anyway. I do like guys. Yeah, I mean, you know I like obscure guys, but I just don't know enough about this guy yet. He had a decent preseason, but yeah, Chubb is a beast. I mean, I don't see no reason for them to just have him carry the ball until he throws up, straight up Willie Beeman style. He could end up the RB1. I don't have it that way, but yeah, he should have a feast against Tennessee.
Oh yeah, he's the type of player, and he's going to get work in the passing game too.
Yeah.
He
so
could
that's what's
easily have 150 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely.
What about you, Rob? I think you're a Titans fan, right?
No.
No. Why are you trying to do that to Rob?
Oh, just putting him on the spot. He hasn't talked for a second.
I think you're thinking of Chris Williard. I think he lives in Tennessee.
I think he's a Broncos fan, though.
Is he?
We got a lot of Broncos fans.
Yeah, that's true. We do have a lot of Sleeper Wire Bronco fans, yeah.
Too many of them. Rob, who are you most excited to watch?
I'd like to see Delaney Walker, actually, because, yes, of course the Browns are going to tear it up. Yeah, hey, I figured you guys would take the mainstream stuff, so I'll pick up the riffraff. No, I'm really excited to see Delaney Walker come back. I think that's the only person Marcus Mariota has any kind of rapport with, so I'm excited to see him. I'd never liked Corey Davis, so I'm hoping that Delaney Walker does a little bit more of what he started to do in the preseason and starts lighting it up again. I think he could be, as long as he stays healthy, he could be a top 6 tight end.
Hey, we laughed just because it was Delaney Walker, because he's Delaney Walker. He's not the sexiest guy, but Chris knows I love Delaney Walker. I was so sad when
we kind of giggled
the
because
season.
you and I both love Delaney Walker.
Yeah. But, I mean, we absolutely love this dude.
Yeah, we both like him.
Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, he's Mariota's favorite target year after year. He should lead the team in targets. Sad for AJ, sad for Corey. But Delaney's the guy. I mean, he's just that nice security blanket. It's nice and warm. You want to snuggle up with him. You know, he's a big guy. You know, with 6'5". He's going to keep you safe. You know, he's going to keep your fantasy team safe. You know, he's going to win you some games. But no, man, yeah, it's funny, but it's a good. I mean, I'm most excited to just see Mariota because I want to see what he's able to do. I mean, he's got a lot riding on himself. He's got Tannehill waiting in the wings. That's ugly. But, yeah.
Derrick Henry's the one I think I'm most excited about.
That's a good one, too.
I really want the Titans to keep giving him the ball as much as they were at the end of last season. He showed that he can handle it. You know, getting the 25 to 30 carries a game, I don't think he's going to get that every game, obviously. But he showed that he can handle that. And I'm actually, for the first time ever, pretty high on Derrick Henry. Higher than most. I was drafting him, you know, like into the third, early fourth. So I think if you took two stud wide receivers, like if you happen to start out with Adams and Julio like I did, Henry as your RB1 after you have two amazing wide receivers, I don't think is the worst thing in the world. But I want to see them use him.
Definitely, and I still have the question because he came out after last season and said he ran so well because somebody told him he needed to get angry. So I've got one question for Derrick Henry. You still mad, bro?
I hope so. I mean, I saw a video of Derrick Henry today.
What's up?
What's up, man? I saw a video of him today, and he seems like, I don't know, he don't have that fire in him. He just was kind of, they were interviewing him. He's like, look, I'm here to do whatever the team wants me to do. Like, I don't want to hear that crap. I want to hear what Lev is saying. Lev said, give me the ball 50 times. He told Adam Gase that. He said, hey, man, don't be afraid to give me the ball 50 times. Not, I'll just do whatever you guys want me to do. That doesn't speak confidence to me. So I think he could get the job done. I don't think he necessarily wants to. He reminds me of like Devontae Parker a little bit, kind of like, you know, he's good at football, doesn't really care about it so much, but he's good. So if they give him enough work, he should be a beast. I don't know if we're going to see it, though. He needs like 30 carries a game. He needs volume. He's a volume guy.
Who wins this game? I'm calling Browns. I think most people are.
Yep.
Tennessee's going to break their spirit. I'm just being a hater that Odell's gone.
And still losing.
I'm just being a hater.
Let's move on here. Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. I was thinking that this one, this could be sneaky high scoring. But then I was like, you know what? Both defenses are pretty solid. This might be one of the more boring games of the week. I am very excited to see Robbie Anderson. I'm gonna bring him up a little bit later. Hint, hint. Rob, I'll kick this to you first. If you had to pick one guy out of the Buffalo backfield to start this week, so you have to pick one for your flex, Frank Gore or Devin Singletary for week one, not for the season, but for week one.
Well, I kind of see the bait there, but I'm still going Devin Singletary. He's shady, but young, and I think he's absolutely a good fit for that offense. They know how to use him. They know how to use somebody that's that shifty. And I think Frank Gore is there primarily for a backup role. You will see him get touches, especially in week one as the veteran. You can never really expect a rookie, unless it's Saquon, walking into a situation to be hands down taking carries out the box. Kind of like Mike Davis took the first carry for the Bears tonight and not David Montgomery, who is head and shoulders above where Mike Davis is. So I'm taking Devin Singletary.
Love Devin Singletary.
See, I lean more that Frank Gore week one is going to get more work.
He should get, I want to say, the most carries. I think they'll split work. They're going to give him the first crack. I think he'll be the first one out there. Kind of like how this game is running. We're going to see Yeldon as well. Yeldon is what scares me, though, because Yeldon was actually pretty good for the Jaguars. and I've been kind of toting him, even though he hasn't had a good preseason. He hasn't been extremely healthy either. But I'm afraid he can run with his job. He's not the scariest guy, so I'm like at 5% that he can run with the job, but it's possible. So it's a 3-headed, not a monster. It's a 3-headed, whatever, poodle, whatever. But yeah, Singletary should have the job, but it's going to take some time. He's probably going to take over around week 3, week 4.
Frank Gore scores the first touchdown in this game.
Very possible. I don't know that I could debate that. He's definitely kind of be their goal line guy week 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that. I could see that. Yep. I mean, he's definitely going to get the first. He's going to get the first crack of carries. He should get the first goal line run. He's the vet. He's done it. I think I was reading a stat the other day. I don't remember it, so I won't try to bore you with it. But it was something like he's the only back within. I don't even remember. But he's impressive. He's an impressive guy. He's old. He's still getting it done. He's on the team. He made a team.
Bills or Jets? Who wins?
Bills.
I'm going Bills as well.
I'm going to take the Jets at home. Moving on, Ravens at Dolphins. I think the three of us are all going to agree that the Ravens are probably going to blow out the Dolphins, right?
Yeah, Dolphins are pretty bad. I don't see them scoring a lot of points at all.
Over under 120 rushing yards for Lamar Jackson.
Oh, over.
Taking over 125 rushing.
Yeah, I'm going to go over just because if you're going to project him to do well, a lot of people project him to be like a top 10 quarterback this year.
Yeah.
If you're projecting him to do that well, he's only going to do it through the ground. He's not going to throw a ton. He's going to average about 200 yards a game passing, if that. He's going to have to do the rest on the ground. He's going to score at least 8 touchdowns on the ground, and he's going to get close to 1,000 yards if you believe that he's going to be this top 10 quarterback. I don't, but if you're going to buy into it, sure, I'll take the over on it.
Now, once he took over, wasn't he on pace for like 1,500 rushing yards or something like that?
Yeah, it was something ridiculous.
He would have led the league.
That's bonkers, man. Oh, so, Rob, are you an Ingram fan?
I am. I like Mark Ingram a lot, and I'll talk about him a little bit later as well. But he's one of those guys that I love. Gotta say it. Love him.
Foreshadowing. Love it. Anyone on the Dolphins that you're excited for? I mean, I'm excited for Kenyon Drake right now. After the news that he's going to get a lot of carries. Let's talk wide receivers here. If you had to pick one for your bench, because I don't think we're really going to start any Dolphins week 1. I mean, no injuries have happened that are that dire, unless you only had 2 wide receivers and one was Antonio Brown, and now you have to pick up, let's say, Albert Wilson or Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker for me, because
Same.
Albert Wilson is coming off an injury right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go Parker as well, especially with Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I would have taken Kenny Stills over all the rest of them because of Fitzpatrick, but he's not there anymore.
Sad times.
So Ravens win this one. Let's move on. Washington Redskins at Philadelphia Eagles, so another division game. I picked up the Eagles defense in every league that I have that actually has defenses because I think they are going to dominate the Redskins. I mean, like Rob, like you said, Case Keenum sucks. Hopefully Darius Geis will be good, but they're without Jordan Reed. They're without any wide receiver whatsoever. I mean, who's wide receiver for the Redskins? Paul Richardson?
Terry McLaurin?
Terry McLaurin?
Did he make the depth chart?
Trey
I was
Quinn.
guessing that time. Yeah.
Trey Quinn.
Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah,
Bernie
exactly.
Davis.
So they got Case Keenum at quarterback. Yeah, they're going to be struggling, and with how many weapons Carson Wentz had, there's no way Carson Wentz is not in the MVP conversation this year. I mean, he was just phenomenal 2 years ago. Like, just everything that he has. I mean, we got Alshon, Aguilar at wide receiver, Deshaun Jackson at wide receiver. He's going to take the top off defenses. Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Jordan Howard, and Miles Sanders, and Darren Sproles back again. And Wentz's knee brace is off. He's 100%. I don't know how he doesn't finish as a top 5 quarterback. Barring
I've got
injury,
him
of
6,
course.
but yeah.
I do too, and I did until the Luck injury, and then I moved him up to 5. Or Luck
okay.
retirement, not injury. Yeah. He injured my soul, is what I was thinking.
Oh, man, yeah. I'm sorry, Chris. You guys already know, but Chris is a Colts fan, so moment of silence
Yeah,
for...
We'll
yeah.
we'll talk about that game after the next one. Eagles win this one, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good, if you want to win some money, it's a good day to bet on the Eagles versus the Redskins. I don't see how you could lose there.
What guy are you looking forward to in this matchup?
In the Eagles, I want to see the running backs matchups. I want to see between Geis and AP, even though they said Geis is going to start. And I want to see between Sanders and Howard, who's going to stick out. They have so many running backs. They have Corey Clement. I'm wondering if they're going to use him on third down.
Smallwood?
It's a lot. So I'm not excited. I just want to see how it plays out because there's a lot of, even the skill positions, all the skill positions, they have so many weapons, the Eagles. I know a lot of people are down on Ertz, so I still want to see Ertz. I want to see him command that high target count that he did. I know a lot of people are afraid with all the other added weapons. I'm not. I think Ertz is still going to be a good wide receiver. Tight end 2 for you for the overall of the year. Yeah, he should be the mainstay of that offense. Everyone else, I don't know. I'm high on Alshon, but at the same time, I don't know if he can finish higher than what he did last year with the added pieces. So
This is where Hoos talks himself into paying attention to every player.
yeah, I pay attention to every player. I watch every player. What do you want?
Who are you most excited to watch? Everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Rob, can you give me a reason why Zach Ertz, like, people started hating on him so much? Like, he was falling to the 5th round in drafts. Like, so why was this happening? Because there wasn't any bad news about him. You know, the weapons for Ertz, I feel like, is only good. Or the weapons for Wentz is only good for Zach Ertz because he has been Wentz's favorite target, and now Ertz is going to be open more. That's the narrative I'm taking. So, is there a reason that you feel like Ertz is falling to the 5th?
I haven't the foggiest, to be honest with you, Chris. It's ridiculous. I honestly think what happened is people listen to podcasts where that's what they said. So then that became the company line, and now all of fantasy football is just like, Zach Ertz is going to have less targets now. Well, we don't know that. That hasn't happened yet. He could have more targets this year, even with all those wide receivers and running backs. Like, this is football, man. The Eagles ran more 2 tight end sets than any team in football last year, and I think them and the Ravens have a chance to go at it for that title again this year. So that doesn't mean that Zach Ertz is going to have less playing time, be out there for less offensive snaps, or have, in my opinion, any less of a chance. If you got him in the 5th round, that is a steal.
Yeah, all those 2 tight end sets, and Ertz was still amazing for fantasy.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like, why? Like, I get the whole narrative thing.
Let's leave it at that.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I love it. Let's move on. Rams at Panthers. I am excited for this one too. Cam Newton, healthy, or at least supposedly healthy. Christian McCaffrey, of course. We got DJ Moore. Chris Hogan, who I was actually thinking about this. I think Chris Hogan, he's still on the Panthers, right? He didn't get cut.
No, he made the team.
Yeah, so as I was thinking, as I was saying this, I was like, wait, shit,
Like,
is he
wait,
still on the
did he make
Panthers?
the
I think he will be a sneaky waiver wire pickup at some point this season.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I just don't. I don't know if you're going to be able to use him on a weekly basis. I mean, everybody's talking of Curtis Samuel and DJ, and everybody expects.
I have no shares of either guy, actually.
Really?
No, none. I have a lot of Cam Newton.
Curtis Samuel.
I got a lot of Curtis Samuel. I might have DJ.
There were so many wide receivers I liked a little bit more in the Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore range.
Yeah, I mean, it gets there. I mean, especially Samuel as again, all the narratives and the fantasy pundits, and you listen to podcasts, you hear Curtis Samuel. You know, earlier in the season, and I want to say in the season because it wasn't in the off season. If you drafted earlier, you got him at a value, which was like round 12. If you were doing it right afterwards, or like way after the August, mid-August, you probably paid 6th, 7th round for him, which is too high because you can get a Robbie Anderson around there, and I like Robbie Anderson more, so I could see why Chris doesn't have much of him. I mean, if you're drafting that late.
Let's move over to the Rams. Another should be a powerhouse offense. They're getting Cooper Kupp back. Todd Gurley he's healthy. Everything that we've heard, he's going to be wearing that brace, right?
I don't know that's for certain. I have heard that he feels great and that he will not be on a quote-unquote pitch count or snap count come Sunday.
Yeah.
So they expect him to be full
There's
go.
no reason for him to be. They got Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp, and they don't even need a tight end. They don't have to start Gerald Everett. I mean, they're set.
Does Cooper Kupp come back healthy week 1?
Yeah,
Is he
I
fully
think
healthy?
I could see them easing him into it. So if I had to pick one Rams wide receiver to not start, it would be Cooper Kupp. They might not want to get him back for full game action the week 1. I mean, obviously you're starting Cooks and Woods. I would be, if you have an option and you're trying to decide between Kupp and someone else, I would probably go with that someone else.
Yeah, as long as they were in the same tier, I absolutely would as well. I think Cooper Kupp is going to be a great play after week 4 this year, but for the first couple of weeks, I want to make sure that he's healthy and moving well, getting targets. They might have him out there kind of as a distraction in week 1, week 2, running routes just to keep clear out some DBs.
Let's move on to my team. Indianapolis Colts take on the Los Angeles Chargers, or at the Los Angeles Chargers. And, you know, the luck news, man. I don't know if I've had a chance to talk about it on air. Maybe I have, but that was rough. I mean, it was really, really hard to watch that video of the Colts fans booing him off the field. And there's a couple things I want to mention. So first, I don't judge those people for doing that. I mean, these are people who, if they had preseason tickets, there's a good chance. I mean, most people don't buy preseason tickets unless they come with their season ticket package. There's a very good chance that those were season ticket holders who felt gypped out of their money and their tickets are now going to be worth half of what they were. Or, you know, people who flew in they already bought their tickets to go to a Colts game. They're flying in to see one. They already have their ticket. Now Luck's not going to be there. And so I get the frustration. I don't like that they did it. I'm pretty convinced that Jim Irsay was like, you know what? Why don't we keep this under wraps and like that? He's known about it for a while, and he was waiting until season tickets were sold, which is a very Jim Irsay thing to do. He did that with Luck a couple seasons ago. I don't blame those people. I don't blame other people for calling those people out either, because that was a super disrespectful thing to do or really by a city who has embraced Andrew Luck so much. I mean, Colts fans absolutely love Andrew Luck, and it was just a bad look for the city. All that said, Jacoby Brissett, I hope he's learned behind Andrew Luck now that he has a great offensive line and not that crap one 2 years ago when he was getting hit every single time he dropped back. And that's why Luck wasn't in. It's like, why don't we just throw Brissett out there and let Brissett get hit for 3 hours? I hope he's learned. I think he's going to be better. He's probably the best backup in the league, and I think we're going to be surprised. I had him ranked as my quarterback 21, so in a super flex league or a 2-quarterback league, I had him being drafted. What are you thinking, Rob?
Well, I saw Jacoby Brissett play the Ravens live, and that game was boring as piss, man. It was terrible. I'm really hoping, like you said, that Jacoby Brissett has figured out a way to kind of get more integrated into that office. And I think with Frank Reich as the head coach now, he's got a real good opportunity to do that. I think he's a good guy to kind of shape Jacoby Brissett, who now has some more confidence. And they have an amazing offensive line, and some more weapons on offense. So I think he's actually set up to succeed a hell of a lot better than he was in 2017.
Absolutely. And let's not forget 2016, right?
Was it?
No, 2017. 2017. Let's not forget that the Colts signed him less than a week before the season started, and it was like, here you go, get out there, go play football.
Yeah.
So now he knows the system. Great offensive line. T.Y. Hilton, I've been getting him in the 5th round since the Luck retirement news broke, and I am thrilled to have T.Y. Hilton in the 5th round as my wide receiver too. It made me really, really comfortable taking 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds, or maybe even going 3 running backs. I mean, in the Sleeper Wire Crew League that we were just drafting, I think I started... No, not that one. It was the Rob's League that I just drafted. I started out 3 running backs. I had the number 2 pick, 3 running backs, and then I took Woods and Hilton in the 4th and 5th. I'm perfectly okay with that. I think Hilton is going to be just fine. I think he's going to be top 15. What about you, Hoos?
Yeah, I absolutely loved Hilton. I am amazed with how far he's fallen and how bad people feel about him. Like, I don't know why people are this down on him. Jacoby Brissett is still going to target him. He's still going to see at least 150 targets. I like Jacoby Brissett. I think he's improved. It's a different scheme. T.Y. just said the other day, this is the best team he's seen. No knock against Andrew Luck, but this is the best team he's been on. Obviously, you're probably going to say that. There's no reason for him to say it, but I absolutely love T.Y. He's got some serious weapons around him. So you have to key in on those other guys. You can't just double team him. He's going to be open, and he's going to be a beast. The 5th round, that's stupid equity right there.
A month ago was the best team T.Y. had ever been on.
Which one?
A month ago was the best team he'd ever been on.
Yeah, likely.
Not now. It might be the best non-quarterback positions he's ever been around. Let's go with that.
I think you say that, though, to bolster the confidence of Jacoby Brissett. If you're T.Y. Hilton, savvy veteran in the league, you make Jacoby Brissett feel confident going into week 1, and he throws like he's the man. And, you can definitely say that confidence in a quarterback can make all the difference.
Let's move on. Cincinnati Bengals at the Seattle Seahawks. I think this is maybe going to be the dud game of the week. I am not looking forward to watching this one. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored. A.J. Green's not playing. Got a lot of Seattle Seahawks wide receivers who are down. Really, I just want to see Chris Carson. And that's the only thing. What about you, Hoos?
Tyler Lockett. Want to see how much he's involved. If he is, in fact, the guy. DK Metcalf. He's supposed to be healthy, supposed to be a full go. It'll be interesting to see how he does. But, yeah, absolutely love Chris Carson. I have him top 10 running back for this week. So, yeah, he should feast. Love him. Got him in so many drafts. That's my guy.
Rob, who do you like in this matchup?
Well, Chris Carson is a great answer, and I'm definitely interested in watching what Dangerous Wilson's going to be doing with Tyler Lockett, like you said. That's something that I've invested some equity into, so I want to see it return quickly. But I know that it can be maddening watching Tyler Lockett play when you have him in your lineup, because he can go a whole game without putting points up until the last 6 minutes, and then he puts 14, 15 fantasy points on the board real quick.
Yeah, Boyd's always going to be also interesting and one to watch. If he can take on that number 1 role, there's not going to be AJ. So it'll be interesting to see if – I know last year it was tough for him to do it. So he's also going to be someone to watch, Tyler Boyd. And then exactly how much they're going to use Joe Mixon, because I hear that they were going to use Gio a little bit. So I don't believe it. I think they're going to just use Joe a bunch. But it'll still be interesting to watch week 1.
2-year, $10 million extension.
Exactly.
That's decent money for a backup running back.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Giants at Cowboys. So, Rob, this was your choice for matchup of the week. You were talking about how you wanted to see the 2 best running backs in the NFL go at it. Aside from Zeke and Barkley, is there another player you're very curious about seeing this week? I mean, I think we all want to watch Amari Cooper score a bunch of points, but give me a different guy who you were very excited to watch.
That'd actually be Michael Gallup. Made some noise in the preseason, and I liked him last year. He didn't really quite pick up the nuance of the game, had some drops, and I'm hoping that he cleaned that up this year with some reps on the jugs machine, put some adhesive on his gloves, and is ready to go out there and catch some serious balls, because he's going to be able to feast on some weaker DBs with Amari Cooper needing coverage. You cannot leave him be. So I think that's going to give Michael Gallup some serious opportunities, and if Dak Prescott can support 2 top 15 wide receivers, you could see it for the first time in Dallas.
Yeah, Gallup's a good one. It'd be also interesting to see if they're going to use their tight end. I know Dak liked to use it when Witten was there before, but I don't know if he's just going to be purely blocking and they use other pieces. So not really super interesting to watch, but still something. I mean, Jason Witten was close to a top 12 tight end when Dak was there. I believe he was a top 12 tight end. Not that 12 was sexy. 12 is not very good, but he was. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that's still there. But Michael Gallup is definitely one to watch. I had a bold prediction about 2 weeks ago on the Mail Sack saying Michael Gallup's going to outscore Amari Cooper. It was very, just kind of just throwing it out there. I don't believe it too much, but I think it could happen. I think it's a possibility.
Yeah, Chris brought up a good question. On the season or week 1?
Oh, on the season.
Yowzers.
Interesting.
That's hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
I want to real quickly go back to the Colts at Chargers game because I just realized we didn't talk any Chargers. So Melvin Gordon definitely not playing. Phillip Rivers does have quite a few weapons. I mean, Hunter Henry coming back. Still got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, Justin Jackson, Austin Eckler. Who are you most excited about watching from the Chargers side? And I'm going to go ahead and answer for you. It's Austin Eckler. So, Rob, who are you most excited about watching on the Chargers side of the ball?
Hunter Henry, man. Gotta love the big guy. And I was definitely able to grab him later in drafts than Zach Ertz, George Kittle. And I absolutely think he could threaten both of those guys to be in the top 3.
Agreed.
Yeah, Hoos, you actually have Henry ranked in your top 3, right, overall?
Yeah, I do have. I've got Kelsey, Ertz, Hunter Henry, Kittle. Though
you're very high on him.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I might have Kittle even lower, but I don't know. I just haven't seen Jimmy G and Kittle work very much together. I haven't seen a lot of work with them together, so it felt very arbitrary to just throw Kittle at 2, where a lot of people are already drafting him, and that's really what happened with Ertz value. People was like, "Oh, Kittle's going to be the guy. He's going to be the best tight end, not just the second best, the best." And that's why we saw Ertz value just plummet to the 5th round, which was amazing for people who got him there. So, nice.
But I mean, Ertz was still going in the 3rd when Kittle was going in the 3rd.
Early, when it first happened, like when it was first established that they were, get all of these tight ends. You can grab not all of these 3 tight ends. Those 3 were going in the first 3 rounds. After some time, people were kind of fading Kittle. I don't know if people were listening to me because I felt like I was the only person talking bad about Kittle. But people started to fade a Kittle just a little bit and Ertz a lot of it. And, yeah, I've been just grabbing Ertz 4th round because I'm not letting him fall to the 5th round. I don't think he would. But at the beginning of the 4th round, he's just money there. He's still going to lead, I think, tight ends and targets and catches. He's going to be a beast. He probably will catch more touchdowns this year as well.
Yeah. All right. That's enough of Chargers talk.
Yeah, I don't know how we were talking about Eagles, but I know how we were talking to me. So that's what happened. I love Hunter Henry.
Let's move on. Second to last afternoon game on Sunday, 49ers at Buccaneers. We already touched on this. Hoos, where do you have Jameis Winston ranked in your quarterback rankings?
I have him number 6 for the year. For this week, I have him number 2.
On the week.
Number 2 for this week.
After who?
After who? Who do I have number 1, actually? Do I have Cousins number 1? Now I got to pull it up. You can talk while I pull that up.
Rob, is there anyone on the Buccaneers you're excited to watch besides Mike Evans and Jameis?
Yeah, Chris Godwin and O.J. Howard. The rest of the receiving core, Justin Watson, maybe some guys in the stands, guy with the big orange finger. No, I really want to see Chris Godwin because he's actually local to Delaware. Grew up around this area.
Did not know that.
So, yeah. So he's one of those hometown heroes you want to root for. But they're hyping him up a lot. Like, that hype train came by at 100 miles an hour. And I wasn't necessarily able to jump on in a lot of places because Chris Godwin went in the third and fourth round in some of the drafts I was doing, and that's a little too early.
I have
for me.
no shares of Godwin because I didn't want to take him that early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took him super
He's
early.
going
on
up
a
there
lot of
with
drafts.
Woods.
Woods is fine, though. I mean, Woods was going in like the fourth or fifth round, too. I mean, I think for a wide receiver that's going to finish 12 to 15 or so, or 12 to 17, that's appropriate, I think, for the fourth round. And I actually have Deshaun Watson number 1. James is number 2.
No, I'm saying that's perfect for Woods. Woods was very appropriate. Godwin should.
I see what you're saying.
Right
yeah,
next to Woods.
Yeah, right. You're drafting him where he should finish. So yeah, I get that.
Breda or Tevin Coleman for the 49ers?
Breda.
I knew the answer to that one. I think I'm going to take Breda. This is one call I don't feel confident about, but I'm leaning towards Matt Breda. Lions at Cardinals. Kerryon Johnson, I think we're all excited to see. Maybe some Kenny Golladay. Matthew Stafford, I don't know if anyone is excited to play Matthew Stafford. He went undrafted in maybe every single one of my single quarterback leagues.
Bounce back.
On the other hand, we got Kyler Murray, Larry Fitzgerald, who I think might be the late round wide receiver steal of the draft. I think Fitz is going to surprise a lot of people. And Rodgers just lined up I just saw the Hail Mary to end the first half, and nothing happens. Never.
Never.
Rob, who are you excited to watch in this game?
Actually, I'm excited to watch the Lions wide receivers, so Golladay and Marvin Jones, and that's mainly because they will be playing against a whole bunch of defensive backs that nobody's ever heard of. What did they get these guys? No, they didn't get them off the street, but they're playing third, fourth string guys out on the outside. I think that Matt Stafford is actually a sneaky good play this week because of how poor that secondary is. Should play with who's out there. I mean, we're not looking at anybody who's even close to a top 50 cornerback on the field. So with injuries and suspensions, that's really hurt Arizona, and I think that I could actually, be good for the wide receivers and Kerryon Johnson with a positive game script.
Yeah, we got David Montgomery with a cool 1.8 points in the first half.
Why did you break my heart, Chris?
That is terrible.
Awesome. That's super
I'm
cool.
glad I don't own that much of them.
Yep. Anybody starting Kyler?
I have him ranked. No, I'm not starting him. He's 21 this
Have
week.
him ranked? No. You want to see it first.
He's 21 this week, so no.
All right, guys, before we get to the primetime games, today's show is sponsored by the great memorabilia site, PristineAuction.com. They have hundreds of new auctions every single day. Everything is JSA certified, so it's all authentic. It's free to join and it's free to bid, and you only pay when you win. Visit PristineAuction.com today and let them know you heard about them from Sleeperwire. That's PRISTINE auction.com. And it was at this point last season where we would kick it to Primetime Lucas to cover the Sunday night and Monday night games. But I guess we'll have to, just deal without him. Sunday night football, Steelers at Patriots. A lot of fantasy firepower in this one. Steelers, of course, we got Big Ben, we got Juju, Dante Moncrief, James Washington. We're still not sure which one of those is going to be the wide receiver too. I lean towards Dante Moncrief, who's just, give me a name real quick.
Moncrief.
What about you, Rob?
Moncrief.
All right. And, of course, we got James Conner, maybe some Jalen Samuels action, Vance McDonald. I mean, the Steelers have a lot of fantasy fantasy points on their team. Patriots, of course, you got Tom Brady, Sony Michel, James White. Who would you rather play? Let's say PPR. You playing James White or Sony Michel this week?
You know my answer. You know how much I love some James White. Oh, yeah.
Yep, I knew that.
Love James White.
What about you, Rob? Who you feeling?
Well, it's kind of hard to follow Barry White on that, but actually, I'm taking Sony Michel. PPR, half point, standard across the board. I think he's in line to see more carries this year as a standard running back. They're going to try and protect Tom Brady, so I expect to see him get the goal line looks. And yes, Bill Belichick will use a lot of running backs, but I think you're going to see Sony Michel in his second year really step it up, and game will slow down for him. He'll look better than he did last year, and I thought he looked pretty good when he looked good. And the knee injury does not scare me. That answer could change like lightning. The moment he even looks like he falls awkwardly, I may change that answer. But as of right now, no, I am not frightened by the off-season stuff with him.
I'm saying Sony has a better chance to get into the end zone.
Agreed.
And they also have Julian Edelman, Philip Dorsett, Demaryius Thomas. They brought him back. Who they starting at tight end?
I don't think it matters. Probably Lacoste. But, yeah, they're going to use a lot of Doors, a lot of Edelman, a lot of Gordon, and a lot of James White. And I think Sony could even catch a good amount of passes. I think that's how they changed their dynamic. They don't have a tight end, really. They've already came out and said that you can't replicate, like Josh McDaniels said, you can't replicate Gronk, right? Like, he's that type of special player. So the only thing you could do is change your offense up. And I think the only way they do that is pass the ball more to, James White. I think he's going to see more checkdowns, and I think obviously Josh Gordon is going to see a ton of more passes, and he'll be there for all 16, hopefully. So, yeah, he should have a decent year. He should.
Over under 100 receiving yards for Juju.
I go under.
I go over.
I'm taking over as well. Let's move on to Monday night games this week. We got Texans at Saints at 7:10 Eastern, and then Broncos at Raiders at 10:20 Eastern. So a late game, which always sucks for people on the East Coast. Yeah. I think people on the West Coast should have to suffer through early games.
They should.
You know, you
get
should
the whole
have
day
to leave. You should have to leave work a little bit early to catch the whole game, rather than East Coasters having to stay up until 2 a.m. to finish a game.
They get to wake up and watch football all day.
Yeah,
that's
skip
awesome.
Church.
Yeah, well, I guess they got to stream. Well, at least we get to watch it after church without us being rude. They've got to watch it through church.
Just a bunch of guys, looking at their phone in their crotch, like in church. Hallelujah! Every time,
right? Hallelujah! Praise the Lord!
Yeah. Barkley gets a touchdown. Amen.
Right? It's a perfect setting for winning your fantasy football. If you're losing, though, you got to get out of there.
You just hold up a hymnal with the phone right in there, so it just looks like you're following along. And
there you go.
Yeah, West Coasters, you guys got it good when it comes to sports.
Heck yeah.
You can go out and celebrate a team's win. You know, you can go out for beers. You can go out for beers to mourn a loss. Can't do that on the East Coast. No. Not on a Sunday night or Monday night game.
Nope,
not at all. Anyways, Texans at Saints. Rob, give me one player in this game.
I'd like to see Duke Johnson, how much he'll be featured, and I want to see him do well with Deshaun Watson.
Who wins?
That'll be the Saints in a last-minute drive by Drew Brees. Call it like 35-30.
What about you? One player. I know you said you got Deshaun Watson at your number one. You're a big Duke Johnson guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Duke Johnson. I'm a little afraid about Carlos Hyde. I think they both can work, but I was excited to have Duke by himself, and he had to just worry about undrafted free agents. like Buddy Howell and the other guy. I can't think of his name right now. Crockett, Demaria Crockett. But yeah, now that they have Carlos Hyde, who kind of can do it all, not as sexy as Duke Johnson. Not that he's sexy, but by himself, I thought he was pretty sexy. No, but I'm more excited about. I don't want to say excited. I want to see how it shakes out between the wide receivers. Watson he got some pieces now. He got Hopkins, Stills. He might have one of the best like wide receiver cores like slept on, right? That ever. I don't want to say ever, but Will Fuller is a beast. Kiki QT could be a beast.
Of
Hopkins
all time.
Is insane. It's an impressive core. Very, very, very impressive. And I love Stills.
I'm going to go with Latavius Murray. I think he can. It may be bold. I think Latavius Murray can finish as an RB2 on the season. He's taken over a lot of that Ingram role. Alvin Kamara, I don't know if he's going to get 200 carries. Maybe a little bit more than that. That leaves a lot of work for one of the most run-heavy offenses in the league, which doesn't seem like, at least when it comes to fantasy, they're very, very good at the running game for fantasy points. I think Latavius Murray is going to be great this season. I'm really excited to watch him. I'm taking the Saints at home. Let's move to Broncos at Raiders. So we talked extensively about Antonio Brown at the beginning of the show. I don't want to discuss him anymore. When it comes to the Raiders, are you automatically starting Tyrell Williams now, Rob?
If I had Antonio Brown and Tyrell Williams, yes, I'm going to swap them. But no, I will not automatically be starting Tyrell Williams if Antonio Brown was not on that team. I don't know that he can really handle the number one cornerback on a team if they're going to shadow him. And he's kind of a big play guy. I don't think he would do well with double coverage. I don't think he's going to do well with press. I think he's going to have a hard time if he's the featured wide receiver.
What about Tyrell or Will Fuller?
Fuller.
Marquise Goodwin.
He's healthy.
Good one. This week.
Fuller.
No, was that?
No.
I would say Fuller.
No,
too.
I'm still taking Fuller.
Tyrell or Goodwin?
No, I'm still taking Fuller. No. I would take Marquise Goodwin, and if I had to choose between the two.
All right. What about John Brown? Fuller.
John Brown.
John Brown.
Dude, John Brown.
All right. Just wanted to see where you guys are at there. Broncos side of the ball, I mean, Philip Lindsay, I'm excited about Emmanuel Sanders. I drafted him late in a couple leagues, and I really want to see how much usage he's going to be, how he looks out there. Reports have been great from camp, but he's going to be a guy I'm going to have my eye on for about the first quarter.
It's a great matchup.
and then I'm going to go to bed, and then I'm going to wake up and see the fantasy scores in the morning.
You're going to wake up to you're going to wake up to Sanders being a wide receiver 1 for this week, and people are going to go to, you'll be able to flip him for whatever you want. It'll just be for this week. It's a great matchup. I mean, he's playing Oakland this week. I know Gruden tries
this game might still be going on when I get up.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I know he's trying to inspire his defense. Knock on wood if you're with me. But, no, I don't think they're that much improved from last year. They're going to be bad. I think it's definitely a great matchup for him. So he should feast. I definitely want to see him.
Who wins? I'm taking, because of AB not playing, I'm taking Broncos beat the Raiders in Oakland.
Yeah, I would say the Broncos are going to beat them. I'd also look for Hunter Renfrow to possibly have a nice sneaky game. I think you could use him in this game. I wouldn't start Tyrell. I'd start Renfrow and Waller. And obviously Josh Jacobs, you're going to start him.
Yeah, Darren Waller, great pickup. Rob, who wins this game?
Yeah, without Antonio Brown, I don't think the black hole stands a chance. So, definitely the Broncos.
I'll say it's a good thing that this game starts so late for people on the East Coast, because I don't see it being a good game.
I don't think so either, but...
Which Which that's what the NFL has done the last couple of seasons. If
That's
I
true.
recall correctly,
They've
the
been
first
bad.
the second Monday Night Football game has been horrible.
They've been really bad.
So people on the East Coast are like, you know what? I don't care if I go to bed.
Thursdays too have been bad. Last year at least.
Yeah, I mean,
And this year apparently too.
Packers Bears is supposed to be
This year too, apparently.
a decent matchup. This is 7-3 at the half.
It's not what you want from your
Yeah,
fantasy teams.
That's awesome. That's
No,
awesome.
this 1.8 points for David Montgomery sucks.
Yep. All right, guys. One last thing I want to do. We are done with the matchups. So let's give me one flex-worthy player you are putting your stamp on this week. We've already hinted at these. I'm taking Robbie Anderson. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute, so we don't need to go super into detail with these. I'm going to take Robbie Anderson. Love me some Robbie Anderson. When he and Sam Darnold developed that chemistry at the end of last season, those last 4 games, he averaged 6 catches for 90 yards and caught a touchdown the last 3 games. He was just awesome. And for someone that you can get in the mid rounds, like 6th and 7th round, he might be one of your flex wide receivers, but I think he's going to be a guy that you're going to want to play. I'm putting my stamp on Robbie Anderson for this week. Hoos, what about you?
Austin Eckler!
Knew
My
it.
boy.
Knew it.
Austin Eckler, man. He's playing the Colts. He's going to feast. There's no Melvin Gordon. He's going to see a lot of targets. He's going to catch a lot of balls this game. He's going to score some touchdowns. I say 2 touchdowns, 6 catches for about 50, and he runs for about 80. So he's going to have a RB1.
He
week for
runs for 80?
Yep. Runs for 80 yards.
Wow. All right.
130
Rob, what
yards
about your
total.
guy? I'm taking
great
the
week
under
one.
there.
Well, I guess if you're passing it to me, my answer is Mark Ingram, and it's a bit of a homer pick. I'm a Ravens fan, but he has not scored less than 6 touchdowns in the last 5 years, and that was last 2 behind Alvin Kamara. So I expect him to feast as the RB1. I think having a running quarterback makes him all the much more dangerous. He's still got it, and you're going to see him go off against the Miami defense down there. I think this is a great place, and they're going to be in a positive game script situation. So they will be handing the ball off to him quite a bit. I think you'll see him run for over 100 yards and get into the end zone at least once.
So, Rob, no worries about the hot hand approach?
No,
He's gonna have
I
a
don't
hot
think. I think Mark Ingram is going to get 60% of the carries, and Gus Edwards and Justice Hill will split the other 40. However, whoever has the hot hand there will probably see more carries. But I think Mark Ingram's safe to see 60 to 70% of the running plays there in Baltimore for at least this week.
Yeah, I love this pick. I'm a big Ingram fan, especially this season. If you took the 0 RB approach, and if you drafted 3 straight wide receivers and Ingram is your running back 1, I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely love Ingram. I don't like where, the whole Justice Hill and Gus Edwards there, but I don't know. I'm worried he's going to lose a job. That's my only worry with Ingram, but he should start off hot. I do agree with that.
All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the Sleeper Wire Show. I want to bring up one thing real quick before we do the outro, and that is this year's Pro-Am. Obviously, we're getting started this week. Hoos, did yours finish today? You guys are still drafting today, Thursday.
It finally finished about 2 o'clock this afternoon. I had to speed
Wow.
the time up to 10 minutes.
How many auto drafts in the last round?
It was a 20-round best ball league with 14 of us, actually, because we ended up adding Sam Lane and Eric Moody to it. So we had 12 originally, and then we added Sam Lane, which is the Scott Fishbowl winner from last year, and Eric Moody, we had him on the podcast. He drafted nothing but wide receivers, which was amazing to watch because I was jealous the whole time. I ended up going – it was Rob and I, the Rob you guys know, not –
The Rob.
not Rob Rose. We drafted nothing but running
not
backs.
man
It was an
behind
awesome
the
team,
curtain,
though.
Rob.
It was a fun team.
Well, speaking of the Pro-Am, this is the reason I brought this up. Guys, due to all of your generous donations to our Patreon page, we were able to raise over $2,500 towards the prevention and treatment of chronic Lyme disease this year, which is awesome. We were able to get Rob give him the money that he needs for, to get the meds, not man behind the curtain on the show right now, Rob. But the reason we do the show, we were able to get him some of the meds that he needs that insurance wasn't going to cover. If you are interested in donating or doing a monthly pledge, check out patreon.com/sleeperwire. You can even just do like $1 monthly pledge. Every little bit honestly does help. And thank you so much for all of your generosity. Everybody who donated to be in the Pro-Am or a listener league. We're going to have a lot of fun with you guys this season, but we did raise a ton of money, which was very awesome. So for those of you, thank you so much. You can find Sleeper Wire on Facebook. You can find us on the Sleeper Wire Fantasy Football Club there. Visit sleeperwire.com. You can submit a question to us where we sort of all debate the answer, and then we get back to you within 24 hours. Follow us on Twitter at Sleeper Wire Show. I'm on there at Prof_Chris SW. Hoos is on there at Hoos the Prophet. Rob, I do not have yours in the show notes. What is your Twitter?
Esorbor1. That's ESORBOR1. It's my name backwards.
And you can find us on Sleeper at Professor Chris, at Prophet Hoos, and at Esorbor, correct?
Correct.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the show. Everybody, thanks for listening. Rob, Hoos, thanks so much for being on the show. Everybody else, we will catch you next week. Great Debate Monday.
Good luck, guys.